Well, hello again folks, and welcome back to the garage where I've had some exciting deliveries. The main one we've been waiting for, is that the front fork stanchion have come back from Brooks from their re-chroming and refurbishment. Look at the fantastic job they've made of them. Can you remember what they looked like before? And yeah, the fantastic difference in them now. Hard to believe they are the same stanchions. Now, I'll put a link to Brooks Suspension in the description. They're not sponsoring this video. They didn't give me any money off or anything, but I do think they've done a fantastic job. And if you've got a job like this to do, then I reckon you should check them out. Just so you know, they did arrive a bit better packaged than that. They were in cardboard tubes with bubble wrap and airbags and extra packaging and stuff, but I've just chucked all that away. They didn't just arrive loose in the box. I've also got some abrasive flap wheels for cleaning down those chrome engine covers. I've got some ceramic coating to put over the aluminium parts that I've polished to stop them tarnishing again. I've got some white tyre paint lettering pens, because why not? The first job to do, though, I think is some admin, because I need to make sure I've got everything I need to put these forks back together and to carry on with the bike, because I don't think I've got everything here that I require. So I was very careful when we dismantled the forks to put everything into one box. So this box just contains the fork parts for the AJS. I've got the old oil seals and dust caps there. They're obviously no good. They'll have to be replaced. I've got some new ones in this envelope. Also from Brooks Suspension. I've got the big springs. I've got the little rods with the little springs on. Got these, I think these sort of where the spring seats on. Got the top nuts, of course. Got two sets of bushings. Now, I have got some bushings from Brooks Suspension, but they relied on my measurements, and I don't think they're correct. But I don't think these are too badly worn, so I'll probably reuse those. I've got these two sets of washers. These are the top washers. These, I think, are where the spring seats, or one of the springs seat, to work that out. Got the nuts for the bottom. Now, one of those copper crush washers is missing. Of course, we should replace both copper crush washers. I'm sure I ordered a big selection box of different copper crush washers, but I can't lay my hands on it at the moment. Somewhere in the garage. Got these spring clips. These are a bit manky. These hold the oil seals in. I think we could reuse them at a push, but I'll see if I can find some new ones to order. Got the spacer tubes. Is that the right word? I don't know. The tube thing is. But obviously some of this stuff is a little bit tarnished. I might have a bit of a go at cleaning it up a little bit. I don't think it desperately matters. But yeah, there's some stuff I need to order. I'm also a bit disappointed in this fork oil that I bought previously. It says it's limitless, but there's only a little bit left at the bottom. So I think I've nearly reached the limit of it. So yeah, there's a trade description problem there, isn't there? Sorry, Smith & Allen, it's actually really, really good stuff. I just need to order some more of it. Well, folks, I've looked absolutely everywhere I can think of in the garage and in the house for those copper crush washers. I either thought about ordering them but never actually did it, or I ordered them and lost them, or I've ordered them and they've ended up at work or something like that because I've taken them there in my bag. I'm just gonna have to order some more. So yeah, looks like 10mm ones are required. Right, I've just ordered the new crush washers, and I've ordered some new spring clips that I think are the right size. Bit difficult to tell. They're 50mm oil seals, I think, and these are 1.6mm round clips. So I've ordered 50 by 1.6 clips. We'll see. We'll see. They're £9 for a pair of them. So I think by next weekend we should have everything we need to put these forks together. But obviously got to get on with something else first now. Well, the next priority, I think, is actually to get some of this ceramic coating on these polished aluminium parts before they start to tarnish, because we'll be handling them quite a lot, especially those fork legs when we put those back together. So I believe you put it on just like an ordinary polish. You just put some on and then rub it off. Yeah, that seems pretty much what you do. I'm just going to clean them first with some brake cleaner just to get rid of any stuff that may be clinging to the surface. That was a bit of a surprise. That came out very watery, like a watery liquid. I was expecting it to be more like a thick polish, but yeah, well, we'll see how it performs, I guess. So there you go. I've done the forks as well. So yeah, put those away and see how they stand up to regular handling during assembly. Now, another problem you may recall we have is for the new handlebars. And yeah, they won't fit on to the existing top yoke or risers. The new risers I bought won't fit onto the top yoke. So I need to try and find somewhere some risers that have a 12mm bolt or a 22mm clamp. Well, we do need both. We need risers with a 20mm clamp and a 12mm bolt. Well, I spent quite some time looking on eBay for risers that suit, and I found some that have a 12mm bolt at the bottom to fix it to the top yoke, but I can't find that combination with 22mm bars. Well, I did find one, but the drawing for it showed a hole of 25mm for the bars. Well, they called itself a 22mm bar riser, so that's confusing. I've ordered them. We'll see what happens when they turn up. I think the worst that might happen is I might have to buy some shims to shim down from 25 to 22. So yeah, we'll see on that, but there is something on order. So the other alternative I could have done was I could have got some that looked quite meaty and drilled them out and tapped them for the 12mm bolt. But yeah, they were a similar price. So I went with the ones that I think should be a straight bolt-on job. Now I'm still looking at and considering this engine. I really want to paint it all black, I've decided. Now, I'm wondering whether, I just don't think I'll get flat wheels around all this to clean it all up without taking these covers off. Whether you can still get gaskets, I don't know. I could use silicone to reseal them or cut my own paper gaskets, I guess. I'll take this water pump off. My manual is completely useless for this engine. It doesn't really cover it at all. I've got the parts list for the Raptor, which should give me some idea. I'm going to start by taking these off. These are just end covers, I think. The one on the other side looks like someone has had a go at cleaning up, but hasn't got all the chrome off. So I'm going to take this one off and see just how difficult it is with the flat wheel to strip all the chrome off. Maybe you have to take this top cover off as well. Oh no, you don't. Just have to give it a bit of leverage. Right, pop these in so I don't lose them. And we'll attack this with the flat wheel. Right, definitely safety glasses required here. Well, that worked amazingly well actually. That chrome came right off. The 80 grit disc may have been a little bit too aggressive actually, because it's kind of removed a fair bit of metal as well. Yeah, maybe start with 120 or something instead on those discs. I don't think I've got any 120 discs. I think they're all 80. I'm going to do the other side because I think that'll take a paint finish quite well. We'll put those covers back on the engine now, and I've been having quite a long discussion here with Nikki about whether I take these covers off or not. I really don't want to lay into them with that flat disc quite as severely as I've done those two. And there's so many little intricate corners. I've got some little miniature flat discs coming for the Dremel, but at the moment I'm rubbing it down with 120 grit because I just want to paint them black. I just want the paint to stick. So yeah, I'm keying up the surface with the 120 grit, and yeah, hoping that will do the trick. Obviously it's going to need, I mean, ideally an epoxy primer, but it's probably not going to get that. Probably get some etch primer to put on there. Now, I'm really not sure if I'm doing the right thing here, but I'm going to carry on with it. Well, I've spent ages rubbing all the chrome surfaces down. I mean, it's only really two covers, isn't it? But they're very, very fiddly. And yeah, I think I've got it to the stage where I could put a primer on it. But in reality, the whole engine does need painting together. Now, I have ordered some 1K etch primer, brush on stuff, because I'm going to brush paint this engine. I've ordered some brush engine paint as well in gloss black. So none of that's arrived yet, but I still need to properly clean down this engine because it's not really in a state that I'd say is fit to paint yet. So it's going to be lots of boring work with a brush and some brake cleaner, I'm afraid. I don't think I need to make you sit through all that, so I'll meet up with you once I've done it. Well, that's much better. I just tackled it with me pink stuff, my brush, and then just rinsed it off with plain water and dried it with the old hot air gun. And yeah, I think that's probably in a reasonable state now to take the engine paint when it arrives. Well, you know, folks, I think I'm going to leave it there for tonight. I don't really feel like I've made massive progress today. I mean, we've done some bits. There's still more stuff I could crack on with, and there's still plenty of day left, but I'm not feeling so great. I'm feeling a little bit, been very busy lately. I'm feeling a little bit run down perhaps, but yeah, I'm going to leave it there for the moment and come back reinvigorated in the next video.